But yeah, man. But other than that, like, how you doing mentally and such?
Good. No complaints, man. I'm enjoying this time, the little time off I've had. So I'm getting ready to go back tomorrow. So it's been good. It's been good. I don't know what else to say except it's been good.
No, I mean it's not even like that. It's that there's like supposed to be a said response. Nah, bro. Like if it's just good, that's cool. You know, it's one of those ones where like nowadays, Trent. Like if your mental's cool, you're finding a little bit of peace throughout your day and such. Like that goes for anybody. Like that's when it's like fuck it, man. Like I'm at the best. I'm moving more or less the best that I can right now. So if it's just good, that's all that matters, bro. Fuck around is way better than fucking you being like it was a badass day. It was a terrible day, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And like right now, it's getting to be the end of summer, right? So like
Yeah.
adjusting to the new season and getting ready to just like, oh, by warm times. Fuck.
No, for real. And it sucks because it felt like she ran away so fast on us because whether you were fortunate to have like a job or whatever and like you just worked the whole summer or whether you just chose to quote unquote follow the guidelines and not really be out, so to speak, like or whatever they were trying to promote. Your summer was like kind of most people's summers kind of flew by, man. At least that's what most people have been expressing to me. I don't know how your summers. How do you think your summer's gone so far?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't think mine's gone by that fast at all. Like I really don't. Like I've worked a lot, but it's been a long summer and I really enjoy that because this is the only time of year I really truly enjoy because I don't have to like I feel comfortable, you know what I mean? I don't have to, I'm not freezing to death and I'm not like wet from rain and fucking whatever else, you know?
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Having like a good mentality in that regard, bro, where you're thinking like, fuck, man. And even on the days you might have gotten wet, as far as like being out in the summer rain and shit, it's like, fuck it, man. Like, if you can enjoy that, because me personally, I more or less used to dislike the rain, but the summer rain, like where it's warm, like it's not as terrible when you get inside. You're still soaked, but versus it's a fall rain, and all of a sudden you just freezing, your clothes are frozen, damn near, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get some type of sickness. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, man, I feel you. It's just perspective, man. But it's good that
It's
you feel like it wasn't slow. I mean, if you feel like it wasn't fast.
well, it like with work and everything, yeah, it will like, oh fuck, all of a sudden it's August. Like, oh fuck, all of a sudden it's now September. Oh fuck, I'm 29 next week. You know what I mean? Like shit
Mhm.
like that. Like it goes by fast, but if you I don't know. I think our perception of time has been really fucked up these last couple of years. Mine especially anyways. It doesn't feel I don't know, it didn't feel like that fast for me, but like it was good summer though. I really had a really good time. I had a lot of fun, did a lot of things, drank a
No,
lot.
see, that's it. You're fucking making the most of it, man. Making the
and
most of each day.
and like yeah, there's there's obviously bad days that come along with that, but like those aren't as near as like memorable, so to speak, as the good days have been this summer. So I can't bemoan it or anything else like that. Like, and I also feel like summer has a lot of pressures with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got to go out and do things. You got to go like, there's a real sense of urgency. Like this, you got to use this time fucking now. We got to go do this like this weekend. If it's got good weather, fuck, let's go now sort of thing. You
That's
know what
what
I
it
mean?
is. It's as
And
if
it's,
we make it the good weather so important for that short period of time. That's gonna
well,
add
especially up here, like fuck, like as soon as November and tail end of November rolls around, it's brutal up here. You don't want to fucking
that.
run around and do shit outside
You
90% of
guys
the
be
time.
getting when everyone has like little centimeters of snow. You guys be having feet of snow. That's that
Pretty
BS,
much
bro. That's
10
that
feet
BS.
and shoulders of snow at this point.
Yeah, it's like that. I know for real. He said it's head, shoulders, knees, and toes and shit of snow. But that's what it is, bro. Like, and it's like the speaking on what your point about summer. It's like to have roughly 3 months, June, July, and August, roughly to
At
try
least.
to yeah, or you know what I mean, depending on how you because don't get me wrong, March, April, May, the weather can be gorgeous, just as if it was
May
summer.
can be finicky around here.
But even I guess I'm speaking to the, because okay, you have spring and summer, which are technically both supposed to be 3 months each, right? So that's roughly 6 months. So you would say, okay, half of the year, technically, you should have decent weather in certain areas. But it sucks because you're thinking just the summer, the 3 months of summer, you're thinking, oh shoot, man, it's the hottest. I got to go to travel. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it's like you don't want to not do something. And then, like, I don't know, Trent. I feel like it's like a hard mentality to have, especially when you look outside and you see everybody else enjoying their time, and or if you look on Instagram and you're tripping and shit, it's like, man, fuck this shit. Like, why am I not doing whatever? Like you said,
You're missing out.
yeah, that's the thing. But you expressing that, like how you've gone on hikes or enjoyed nature. Me trying to express that I've been doing my little nature hikes and walks and stuff, bro. That right there is why a person like me, I can never say, yo, man, I didn't enjoy my summer, even with COVID and everything like that. Just getting out in the summer, in the sun, bro. That shit right there was cool. Chilling in some grass on a grass, like a plane of grass, just tripping, reading a book or whatever. That shit was chill, man. You know?
COVID really hasn't, like, this year anyways, hasn't really affected like my summer at all. Like I went and did shit. Like I traveled, I went and saw events. I've been at bars fucking my entire been at the bar pretty much twice a week, every fucking week. So like
Hey, bro.
it hasn't really affected it too much. You know, you gotta wear a mask everywhere and shit, but that's about it. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. Like last summer was a whole different ball game. Like I didn't do fuck all. I hiked a lot. I hiked a lot last summer and worked. That was all I did because there was nothing else to do because everything was still closed down.
And
This summer
social
was a lot
distance.
more open. Like everything was a lot more opened up this year, anyways.
Yeah, man. It made it feel a tiny bit more quote unquote normal, because
Hmm.
you saw people out and about. Certain businesses had discovered their requirements and such that they need, as far as for the patrons to come in and eat or whatever. Like certain businesses were able to just adjust and go to a different and have a different approach, and kind of make a shift with the times. Like, I don't know. It makes me, a person like me, think by next year or the year after, there could be a relative sense of normalcy again. Like, depending on how, you know what I mean? Like, I'll say schmovid is spun, so to speak. Like how much more variance they push on us and such, versus, granted, if the real numbers actually are going down, then at least it's like, okay, it's not as much of a threat. Let's start rocking or whatever.
I think right now what I've been looking at and a lot of people looking at is like the serious cases, like how bad those are. And if those numbers are going down, that's a good sign.
Yeah, no, because that's what it is. It's like, though, in those cases are in the sense of the people who are being admitted to the ICUs and such, versus just that they're quote unquote recording a positive situation. Like those ones, the numbers are significantly lower than just quote unquote positive cases. So that is a good sign. And it's like it like you were kind of saying for this year, yeah. Like, I'm glad that it didn't truly affect the summer. Granted, you made the most of it. Granted, you actually like went out and took a little trip of 2-3 days and went to a different city, or went up into got a cabin or a cottage or whatever you want to call it, like, and just chilled and shit. Bro, if you had the means to do that, hey, you got to make the most of it. And like, I guess there's no way around it, man. Like, we have a, in my opinion, speaking on, because we were speaking on the months of summer, but it's kind of like, you can look at life like that, Trent, where it's like we kind of have like a short window. Some of us feel like we have a short window to do things. Like, oh shit, man, from 18 to 35. That's my short window, bro. That's my short window of quote unquote youth. And it's like, nah, bro. Like, especially when you hear about certain stories of certain people just starting to live when they get to their 50s and stuff, as far as whether it's like experimenting, learning to play guitar or whatever the case is, like just some dope shit you learn at a later age. Yeah, bro. I don't know if you could speak to like the fact of if you ever felt like that, the fact of like feeling like you have a small window to accomplish shit, like
all
beyond
the
summer,
time.
like, yeah.
It's really fucked up when you like watch sports and stuff like that too, because that fucked with your head. Because you're like, these guys are like my age and they're doing this, and here I am like doing that. Blah, blah, blah. So that really fucked with your head. So you got to stop that comparison bullshit right away and just realize,
Yeah. Yeah,
everyone
bro.
has their own path, everyone runs their own race. So you
Facts.
can't compare. Comparison's the thief of joy. I've said this many times on this podcast before.
But he's 19 and 6'8" and shit, just doing all types of 360 slam dunks, and you're saying I am 29 and I'm just chilling, and I'm 5'10" or 5'7" or 5 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Barely able to get off the couch some days. So there
That's
you
what
go.
it is. Like that's it's a trip. But sorry to cut you off, bro. What were you saying?
But it's like we were saying, it's a sense of urgency. But I think around like, especially like, I always speak to around here because that's like a lot of what my framework is and what I know. Can you stop biting me? Thank you. Um, we're blessed with like these unbelievably gorgeous, like picturesque summers. You've seen some pictures I've taken and some shit and like the hikes I've gone on and whatnot. But we're also cursed with just unbearably and unseasonably cold winters. Like, so it's a part of like, we got to use this time while we have it, or we're going to waste it. And then we're going to be regretting it. And like, we're going to be in like the mid of fall, like looking back on, I wish we had done this. We're freezing our balls off now. Fuck this, you know? So I don't know. I think it's just a lot of just like pressures we put on ourselves. And a lot of it is, like you said, social media and media in general, like promoting summer and whatnot as like a fleeting thing. Cause it is a fleeting thing, but like, it doesn't have to be like in a sense of like a fleeting thing, as in like if you miss this moment, you've fucked your entire life up by missing out on this sort of thing. Because in reality, there's always going to be other moments. So
yes. No, and that's the God's honest
one that worked well for you.
Like that's the God's honest truth in saying that there's always going to be other moments. Maybe not another moment, or as far as like with that specific girl or with that specific job opportunity or whatever, but there will be other moments just as people or just as great. So you're 100% right, and I believe that to the core, bro. Like the whole concept of like, oh man, like man, it's the last 2 weeks of summer and I didn't even do nothing. Like when you're in high school and shit, like say you're going from 11th grade to senior year or whatever, and you're like, man, I didn't even do nothing this summer. And then you're like, this is my last summer in high school, blah, blah, or whatever, right? Like just people put, like you said, people put a huge weight, a huge value on that kind of mindset. And it's like, you can't, because you're going to be either stuck in the past or just in a weird way, like
nostalgia tripping the whole time.
Sorry?
Nostalgia tripping the whole time. Just like wish like, oh, the good is this is, you remember that shit while you're like in the midst of like potentially great days if you fucking, you know, put forth the effort for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find myself like being the victim of, well, not being the victim of that, be doing that myself as well. Like, fuck, like it happens.
No, and that's the thing. No, we're all guilty.
But yeah, like it's all a matter of like not living past your gold, like not living like your golden years are behind you, like living like your best years are still in front of you, like the best times of your life are still to happen. Like they may not be like the same as it was when you were younger, but they're still like the best times now. You know what I mean?
That's the beauty. Yeah, that's definitely like the beauty of it. Like thinking to yourself, all right, man, it's like, all right, fuck it. Yeah, you'll never be 16 again. You'll never be 20 again. You'll never be 25 again. Cool. But at the same time, it's like, you got to be able to look at it like I'm embarking on a new chapter every time I open my eyes, like from sleep. Every time I'm fortunate to get another day, like I'm embarking on a new page in the chapter. You know what I mean? So it's like thinking about it like, oh, my best years are behind me. You're robbing, like kind of like you were saying earlier, comparison being the thief of joy, but you comparing your younger years to your present time, shit, you on some Al Bundy type shit, just talking about, you know what I mean, like Polk High or whatever in his highlights and shit, and it's like, bro, you gotta chill. Like try to create new moments, new memories and such, you know?
I
Like,
call it glory days, but the Bruce Springsteen song, like all they were talking about was glory days. You know what I mean?
yeah, I feel
That's I live in a town that runs off of that. There's the old Doug Stanhope saying there's a lot of history in this town, but not a lot of future. And
damn,
it's kind
that's deep.
it's kind of like that with like a lot of this town, but it's like we we live off that. But once again, this is all in perspective. And like I'm saying, like a lot of people live off of like, oh, those days back in 19 fucking 84 or whatever. We had blast at that one party and really, whatever. And now it's 2021 and they're fucking like still trying to live up to those, like live those days out. And it's like, you got to stay in the present. And like, once again, like, I don't know. It's something I've always tried to avoid because like I've had a lot of great times in my younger years, but I feel like the great times now would be a lot better if I were younger. But here I am.
Okay.
These better times now are happening now that I'm a lot older, I'm a lot smarter, and like a lot like more
See,
confident. I don't even want to say confident,
yeah.
but like a lot more
No,
sure of
fuck that.
myself.
You are more confident, Trent. That's the thing. We all are, bro. Like that's the beauty of it. Well, not can't say we all are, but the people who choose to put themselves out there. What we were talking about, kind of a few episodes ago, as far as like being willing to give a little bit to get somebody else's kind of like give a little bit of yourself to get somebody else's kind of trust or kind of within your connections with them. You allowing yourself to be more confident is allowing yourself to be put out there in those types of regards, to have those moments, to actually be able to like enjoy those times now. And the fact that we are older and we're like we have like our own apartments or our own houses, our own whatever, you can enjoy yourself and actually have like the quote unquote privacy or whatever the case is of like your own home to enjoy yourself there or whatever good moments or good memories you're trying to create with people or whatever, whether it's a significant other, whatever. Being able to do that shit, man, like having that type of freedom is amazing. Because when you're a kid, like they say like you're free because you're not really thinking about like bills and responsibility and shit that your parents are. But well, under certain circumstances. But at the same time, when you're old enough, bro, like if you get yourself to a dope spot where you're taking care of your bills, you're not worried, like you have excess income, like on top of after your bills are taken care of or whatever, so you can play, you have a little bit of money to play, bro. At that point, however you choose to shift your life from that point, Trent, it's like you can make yourself an amazing life, just like without even like having to be quote unquote rich, so to speak. But it's just your perspective. You fuck around and discipline yourself and get to a point of like, okay, everything's taken care of for the month. I have this much extra. Let's go have fun. Let's go play. Let's go do this. Let's go travel here. You're gonna make an amazing life for yourself, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Depending on how you perceive life, right?
I agree, man. And it's like once again, it's not all it's about living for
Yeah.
future endeavors and future like opportunities and future moments and not like,
Yes.
oh, not being rooted in the past. Like
Yep.
everything, like our past is what our past doesn't define us because we all have a past. Our past can make us like figure out like who we are and stuff like that, like learn from our mistakes and whatnot. But like as it stands right now, we have to use with what we got, like in the moment, sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's what's so dope about it, Trigger. It's like you use those tools correctly and you'll see the type of wonderful architectures and things like that that you can build, man. That's my opinion. You fuck around and you fuck around and use your tools incorrectly. You might fuck around and mash your hand or lose your arm or some wild shit. So it's all just depends on how, like
Lose your life.
metaphorically speaking, my dear people who are listening, metaphorically speaking, you just it's amazing when you see people make that shift and understand how to use their tools they were gifted with or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's when it's like, okay, dope. I'm seeing such and such grow. I'm seeing such and such choose to grow. I'm seeing such, and you're like, okay. Because then at that point, it's almost contagious. It's almost like it rubs off on you. If you're someone seeing somebody else start to move forward and shit, you know?
I agree, especially if you're living, if you have the right like headspace with it, you're not like looking at it like, man, why is it not me? Blah, blah.
Yep.
it's all about being like supportive and grateful for
Yeah,
somebody else's opportunity, and like using that as, I don't know, inspiration is one way to put it, but like,
yeah.
like motivation to keep doing your own thing so you can get like that same level of fucking whatever else, if you're looking at it like that.
You know what's fuck? You know what's wild though, Trent? And I know everyone has their different perspectives. Not everybody's ambitious and trying to, I'm a go getter. Not everybody's like that. But I saw like an Instagram post where a guy was talking about how like the guys who like the men and women who go above and beyond and achieve great things, and not just like financially, but just whatever, like scientists, whatever. He was saying like that they don't need motivation to do things. They need discipline. Like when we spoke about last week, it's like, because it's like, like you don't need to be like those people, those specific group, that specific group of people don't need to be motivated, because it's like they know they have to get up and get it done. There is no other alternative, versus somebody who might not be having that mentality, and like they need to be quote unquote inspired or motivated to get up and do the quote unquote what somebody might look like the bare minimum. Like a lot of people have to like get up and like, yo, man, I gotta be motivated. But he was saying like the people who are at that, I don't want to say 1%, because I'm not talking about like quote unquote rich people. I'm talking about just people who choose to accomplish things. They don't choose to have motivation because they just know it's discipline. I gotta get up, gotta do it. I don't know. Like what would your thoughts be on that? Like almost having like a
I've
no
got,
excuse attitude.
I don't know, I've got a lot of excuses. uh, but I also have a lot of like motivational sayings written around my room and whatnot. So,
Mhm, mhm.
somewhere in the middle of that, like I'm motivated enough to, motivated enough to not have to be too full of excuses. Like,
Okay.
so that's the only way I can put it. Like,
No, and it's real. That's real shit. Because don't get me wrong, Trent. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me, in the sense of we don't all have it figured out. And so you basically kind of saying that you don't necessarily have it all figured out, but you have it enough that you're making progress each day. Versus somebody saying, "Oh, I got it all figured out," and when I wake up, I have no excuses, and I just accomplish everything. Reality is that I feel like at the same time that kind of is why there is that like 1% or whatever. Like why I feel like that kind of is why there's quote unquote a small group of people who go above and beyond to achieve what they got to achieve, versus like the fearless motherfuckers, versus the people who might hold on to the fear and, like you were saying, sometimes make excuses. And you know what I mean? Like, not saying that specifically you, because we all make excuses. Like, I don't think anyone's truly exempt from it, but yeah, man, I don't know. I
I
feel like
agree. Like, I don't know. If I find like, I don't know. It's all about what your goals are at the end of the day, is what I find. Like,
yeah,
if you're about willing to go above and beyond for like your mental well-being and being the best you can be, that's a whole different ballgame for like going above and beyond for like your company or a fucking corporation or something like that. Or
yes,
above and beyond just so you can have a bunch of money, just so you can have a bunch of money and pretend you're a rich fuck. Like,
yeah,
I know a lot of people that do that, and I know a lot of people that push that grift on a lot of people, and it really is not like it's problematic to me, just because, like I said, what your goals are at the end of the day. Personally, for me, I think it's about like just trying to be the best you can be without fucking anybody else over or like anything like that. Basically, at the end of the day, you can go home with whatever gain you made that day, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, whatever the fuck else. And you don't have to be like, you can look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with who you are because of those decisions you made, because you didn't, screw somebody else over, because you weren't like doing this out of like, I don't, the only way I can say is dishonesty. You're not doing anything out of like serious dishonesty, like to yourself or to your fellow human being, to
see, and
harm somebody else.
that's honorable as fuck, bro. Because you think about it, like how many people are
Probably why
challenging.
I'm not rich either.
No, but see, that's the thing though, because it's like how many people are out here trying to discipline themselves to be decent, to make sure that they're not quote unquote screwing somebody over. Because in life, in truth, whether it's business or just sometimes self-preservation, bro. Like, unfortunately, that's why they call it self-preservation. You have to be greedy. You have to knock others down in order to achieve your goals, so to speak. Like, you have to do a lot of these things in life, so to speak. It's like, unfortunately, a lot of people are molded to think that way because we have this capitalist mentality. I got to get mine. I got to get mine. I got to get mine. But at the same time, it's like, it's dope because if you're going to have an honorable approach and, yeah, man, I'm going to be decent. I'm not out here to hurt people. I'm not out here to da-da-da-da. Bro, at that point, it's like, fuck, man. In my opinion, at that point, you're already winning. It's not, you're not.
It goes back to what you're saying again, like about like looking at other people succeed. It's not about just me succeeding. It's about like me. It's my buddies, like my day ones, everyone like I'm close with is about bringing them up too with me. And that's it. That's where you really win. And that's mutual aid. And that's all it is. And solidarity with your, like, not just like your fellow friends and like your, oh bastard, like fellow human beings and whatnot, but like honestly, it's just about doing the best for the most people you can and trying to like leave this place a lot better than you left it, and not just for yourself but for everyone else, and hopefully, and at the end of the day, hopefully more than just one person or two or three.
No, and that's key as fuck, man. Like, that's super key. Like, we have to have it, like, because with that perspective, if you were to leave the planet better than how you found it, you're going to have a thriving legacy behind you. And although you can't save everyone, so to speak, doing your best to, without harming yourself and being dishonest to yourself, like you were saying, doing your best to assist others and bring them up, teaching them to fish opposed to just giving them the fish type of mentality, bro. Yeah, man. I feel like we only gonna succeed from there. I don't know, like, to the people listening, hey, we out here we dropping gems, like my boy Sci-Hi said, we dropping jewels like my chain broke, just all over the floor. You feel me? Like, just, I hope y'all pick them up, because, bro, remain a fist with brothers. You know what I mean? Because spread open fingers like this, it's easy to snap off and break and whatnot. But when it's like this, it's a lot harder to break. So remain a fist with your brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Shit's real out here. And if each one could teach one, if you get a little bit of sunshine, bring up somebody else with you so they can shine too, yo. Straight up. But yo, I don't know how you feel, Trent, but I feel like that was good, bro. We out here tripping. You know what I mean? Rocking out. My boy Trent with the Jimi Hendrix shirt. I don't know if y'all can see it. Fucking, it's clean, bro. It's clean, you know?
Oh, it's definitely not clean. I wore it at the bar last night. Woo! But I know what you mean.
Yeah, this guy's a nut. My boy Trent's a nut.
It was 51 years ago today he died, actually. So part of the reason I have it on. But rest in peace, Jimmy. Yeah. Light one up for him and play some fucking dope ass tips, some of his crazy ass music.
Purple haze all in my brain. Oh yeah, that's that shit, bro. You already know.
Fuck yes.
Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Yo, as my boy Trent's getting attacked by his kitty, yo, this is another episode. My name's Graham.
I'm Trent.
and thanks for rocking with us, bro. Another episode. Ultra Fly Talk.